Hi, I'm Angela Olson and I'm here to discuss implementing a diversity workshop at GRCC. We run into so many people on campus that we don't really know how to talk to because we don't want to offend them. And that's a major issue that I have because I would love to make so many friends on campus even because there's so many cool people on campus. We want to share experiences and enjoy ourselves on campus and share everything that we possibly can because that's what this world is now, it's sharing. So a diversity workshop can help us with that by allowing us to go in and share our different cultures, our different viewpoints, our sexual orientation, whatever it is that we want to talk to people about in an open and nurturing environment. So the first thing we should talk about is what is diversity? I have it here as diversity is the coming together of different cultures, races, values, and people. But Kelly Green has the most inclusive definition of diversity. It's acknowledging, understanding, accepting, valuing, and celebrating differences among people based with respect to age, class, ethnicity, gender, physical and mental ability, race, sexual orientation, spiritual practice, and public assistance status. This is completely inclusive and it covers everything that we are as human beings. So we want to make sure that we can all accept each person around us for all those things, whether we believe in what they believe in or not. Next thing is diversity is a constant ethical dilemma, especially within an organization. We have to deal with all sorts of people every day coming in and out of GRCC, and we want to make sure they believe that we trust them and respect them. So that's an important thing to have with diversity. Here I pulled a Wheel of Diversity from a management book for the BA 283 class. It shows all the different levels of diversity that organizations have to deal with. That's outer dilemmas, inner ethical dilemmas, internal dimensions, and then that's the personality. This has to do with like the actual workplace, and then it gets into the actual person. And how we want to tackle each of these different rings is very important for GRCC to look into. And a diversity workshop can definitely help with that. Some advantages to diversity are increased productivity. This means that people are more willing to work together when they have respect and understanding for one another. They don't get stuck on the conflicts of values and such. They already know and respect each other. And then there's an increase in creativity. We're bringing so many different people together that we are willing to work with, and we accept their ideas and we come up with a whole new idea. This is innovation, and that's what the world is today. Another thing is new attitudes. A new attitude at GRCC would be completely accepting and open, and we'd be willing to take in any other person, and that's a really good thing to have because people want to come in, they want to feel like they're accepted and respected, and that's very important. And how does this diversity workshop work for GRCC? Well, like I said before, having all of these advantages will help GRCC become a more open environment, and it'll encourage students to come to us because we have such an environment that will get them ready for the next step in their life, whether that's another university, a job, or whatever they're getting into. It'll help them in their futures, and that helps us. Next, we'll talk about the diversity challenges and disadvantages, because when you have diversity, you're obviously going to have those issues. One major issue is respect. As we've talked about before, you want to have mutual respect for everybody, and that can be hard to achieve. It's something that people have to work at and be willing to try. So that's what a diversity workshop will do, is people are coming in, they're willing to try and get that respect. And if they can bring in their friends and so on and so forth, we can create a very big community of respect and willingness to work together at GRCC. Conflict. This will occur if there is no respect for one another. And that comes about when you have harassment or issues that people are fighting on with their values or their sexual orientation or so forth. People are going to have fights about these things, but they can be avoided because we're building respect. So hopefully we can use this diversity workshop to create respect for one another and avoid conflict and harassment. And then we have lifestyle acceptance. This goes in with respect because we often bring in our lifestyle, our life issues in with us to work, even though we don't mean to. So we're going to tell people about it, and other people may overhear and may want to butt in, but we have to learn how to respect other people, not get into their business unless they want us to be. So that's very important to gain respect and get rid of that conflict, because otherwise we will have one big issue. How can we tackle these? That's a very big question. How can we prevent this conflict from happening? It's not all going to stop. It's impossible to remove it all, but we can definitely limit the amount that we have by bringing people together, letting them talk to each other, learn from different people, speakers, and professionals. They can learn about different cultures, and they can learn how to accept them and respect them. And that will help us as individuals and a whole tackle these challenges and problems. So what is a diversity workshop? I've mentioned it a little bit before, but what it is we're gonna get a gathering of people, like any of our other groups on campus already meet, and we're gonna bring these people in, students, staff, even a professional diversity workshop person if we wanted to. Bring in people to speak on different cultures, on their own beliefs. If people want to share something that they've been going through, we can do that, and it'll be open and accepting because people are coming to hear these different things, discuss them, and learn. That is something that's important to do at GRCC because it's a learning environment. So we want to give people the chance to learn about different cultures and different people in a very non-biased way. The next part is being authentic. When we implement this diversity workshop, we don't want to do it just because we want diversity. Sure, we do want it, but we don't want it to be the only reason. Like I've said before, we want to bring in diversity so we can have mutual respect and accepting for one another. So that is authentic, and we will be able to achieve that. So what conclusions can we draw from all of this? This diversity workshop will be very easy to implement. Just like any other of our organizations on campus, the InterVarsity group, they already are doing this type of thing. What we can do is just create a time slot by working with the other groups, find a location to meet, bring in a couple of instructors from maybe the language department and so forth to talk about different cultures and get this started. Then once we go there, we are going to advertise through the collegiate and through the bathroom stall wall where they advertise all the group organizations meetings anyway. So this will help us bring more people in and see what we're trying to do to help people learn how to respect one another. It brings in open communication. So we want to bring in more people, we want to bring in more cultures and have a very diverse community at GRCC. And what we need to do to have that is to allow people to see that they are going to be respected and accepted here. And we want to show that. That goes into the GRCC experience. What the GRCC experience already is a, for lack of a better word, cheap learning experience where people will be able to get their degrees through a much easier means, and they'll be able to learn from people who care and respect them. So that's important to have when we bring in the diversity. This will just enhance the already really great GRCC experience. Some recommendations. When bringing in this workshop, we will have to bring in staff members, like I said before, that we already have as volunteers, preferably from like language departments, communications, and from management. These are the people that deal with different cultures and diversity each day, and they know how to handle it. So they can teach people how to handle it, how to respect one another, and they can teach you about the different cultures that you're going to meet. We need to find GRCC's needs in this. So what does GRCC need diversity for? Well, we want more recruitment. That's our main thing, of course. But we want to make sure that people know that they're going to be accepted here. So we want them to come to us, see this diversity workshop, and want to be here just because of that. Professional diversity speakers. We already have a diversity lecture series, so we could just ask these speakers if they could do these as well. So it would be really easy to implement that if we wanted to. And then follow-up evaluations. I would recommend asking people after the first or second workshop to fill out a small survey at the workshop and see how they like it. See what they would like to see come up at the workshops and how they feel about what we're doing at GRCC. So this is how to implement a very well organized diversity workshop at GRCC, and it will help our campus in our community very well. Thank you.